It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. It's your Hump Day episode, Wednesday, April 9th. And boy, do we have a lot to talk about today. OMG, the stories are storying. If you know what I'm talking about. Blake and Ryan seem to be at the end of their rope. And I don't know, maybe this is just my dreams, my hopes, my wishes, my strong wishes for the end of the end of us, the end of this. It ends with them. I am praying, I am hoping, I am feeling pretty confident that we are going to come to the end of this nightmare. Not that I don't love talking about them. I do. I love talking about them, but I am so sick of them and their lies. Yep, there I said it. Their lies. I did get some fun comments. We're going to talk about those. There's those Blake apologists because I want to get into it. We have some updates on the Blake and Ryan lies. Every time I say lies, I'm going to say it like that. Remember Alibaba. Plus, a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion where Andy really dug in to Kyle Richards about the Morgan Wade relationship. And Lisa, yesterday, my guest, she and I uncovered something that I want to go deeper on about the dynamic between Kyle and Morgan and why we believe that it's not an open and out relationship. Plus, Dorit went in on Sutton, and I want to get your opinions on how you thought that went. Plus, Allie Lewber, also known as James Kennedy ex-girlfriend, went on the Viall files and opened up about her relationship with James, about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But she also threw LVP under the bus, and I was very interested in hearing about that. And she talked about if she believed Rachel, Raquel, and Kristen. And speaking of Kristen Douty, a little segue into the Valley, Brittany Cartwright opened up about her diagnosis of her son Cruz being on the spectrum, having autism, and I was touched by her announcement. We're going to get into that. There is so much to talk about. Plus, the Gabby Windey and the Clayton drama, it never ends. They are the new Blake and Justin, you guys. We may have to skip over Blake and Justin and just move on over to Gabby and Clayton. I find it a little bit more interesting, actually. Plus, some more Karen Reed updates, that and more on today's Daily Dose of Donna. Oh, Ray is making me laugh. She says, "Oh my, I needed extra sleep and Allie delivered." Last night I did see a preview for Nick Viall, the Viall Files, and it said Allie Lewber was going to be a guest, and I posted it on my stories. I said, "I'm going to have to listen to this." And everyone said, "Oh, thank God you're going to do it for us because I don't think I could do it." And luckily I didn't even have to listen to it because so many Bravo accounts did it for me. And I'm going to do it for you. I'm just going to share some clips that they shared with me. So I'm not even listening to Nick Viall. I'm just posting the clips. It's unreal. It's like, I wonder if this is a good or a bad thing for shows like Nick Viall when they get these big guests. Because you'll get these huge guests. I mean, it's not like Allie Lewber is such a big guest, but her content, when she talks about stuff like James Kennedy and these big interviews where she's opening up about what really happened on the night of his arrest back in December after Kathy Hilton's party. I wonder if when you get a guest like that and then they get scooped basically by all of the recap podcasts or recap Bravo accounts, I always wonder, does it totally screw with your numbers? Because I have no interest now on going and listening or watching Viall Files. I mean, maybe I'll give them one watch just for you guys. Maybe we should do that just to for karma. For karma, I will go over to Viall Files and just give them one view from me. Because, he did deliver a podcast. Let's see. Well, he's gotten 7,279 views for 3 hours of being on YouTube. So he's getting the views. He's getting some views. You know, it's really views are so funny on YouTube because that is a lot of views, but at the same time, we have people like uh what's her name? Emily D. Baker covering live trials, and she has 10,000 live viewers at all time. Speaking of, this reminds me, I have on the right here, I have Lawyer That's Peter Tragos. I have him just up on my YouTube. He's a big follower of the Karen Reed trial. You guys, we've connected. Peter Traeger and I, we've slid into each other's DMs. Don't get excited, Lance. We have slid into each other's DMs, and he is on the calendar for Daily Dose of Donna. So don't get too excited. But the lawyer, I'll just pull him up really fast for you guys to see who he is. This is the lawyer, He is on the calendar for Daily Dose of Donna to talk all things Karen Reed. He seems really cool, really nice. I've been watching his show now for months, and I'm really excited to get his thoughts on Blake and Ryan, and of course on Karen Reed and everything. So very, very excited about that. I know he's super, super busy. Now, just a little admin. I'm going to be traveling to Mammoth with my family on Saturday. And I'm going to be there from Saturday to Wednesday. So next week may be a little funky. I don't know if I'm going to have to do pre-records, but I will be posting shows. I just don't know how and when and what. But don't worry, okay? So I will figure out a way to make it work. But you just expect that he will be on my show. He's got some great takes. He covers a lot of stuff in a very, from what I've seen, in a very honest, real way. I'm also connecting to Ask Two Lawyers. See, I'm trying to get the lawyers on the channel, trying to smarten me up. Listen, I can only put on glasses for so long to look smart. But the blonde hair really takes me back, The blonde hair really brings down the smarts. I'm a doser after all. So got to do what I can do to kind of make myself as smart as possible. Bring up the lawyers. Okay, back to Allie. She was on Nick Viall's show, and just to give you a visual, here she was talking. I have no idea what the timestamps are, so I'm not even going to play.
I think he has strong feelings about things, but yeah, it's not.
Does he want you to just not talk about the relationship, the flaws?
Okay, I already fell asleep. She's got a very, very low energy. Listen, as someone who studies reality TV for a living, who used to work in casting, who understands personalities, who gets like the feeling of charisma, as the kids say, Riz. The kids say Riz. You got Riz. Allie is great for certain things. She would be a wonderful person to be an audiobook reader for Headspace. You know that app, Headspace, or the Calm app? I would not. I would be the person who would be wanting to, wake you up in the morning, or maybe I would motivate you to maybe do something in your life. I would not be the person to put you to sleep. I'm not the person to put you to sleep. My voice is annoying. Okay. My voice is like it's as my husband says, it's like a nagging voice. Okay. No offense. Sorry, Lance, but it's like a little, it's like a pecker. It's a pecker voice. But Allie's like a Headspace person. She's a calm voice. She's got like that kind of energy, which is why she's just not a reality star to me. She never really was a reality star for me. When I used to watch Vanderpump, I used to think to myself, one of these things is not like the other. And that was just Allie. She's just not a reality star. So if she wants to go down this astrology route and do a YouTube channel and a podcast, like I think she's perfectly fit for what she's doing. Either way, she speaks on Nick Viall's podcast. And luckily, I've got the clips from various people who have definitely been speaking to, about this. And I will play a couple of the clips who are posting about it. Here is one of them. This post is from a podcast, Breaking the Rules pod clips. And this is about LVP. Now, if you guys remember, Lisa Vanderpump, like really, really, really protected James Vanderpump. That was a Freudian slip, because a lot of people think that Lisa Vanderpump is James Kennedy's, like, basically mom. She does have a very maternal relationship with James Kennedy. Actually, now that I think about it, when Paige DeSorbo talks shit about boy moms, I think she's actually talking about Lisa Vanderpump. Like, those are the people she's talking about. The women who will unabashedly, unapologetically, no matter what, always, always, always protect the men, no matter what they do. Good, bad, mean, liars, it doesn't matter, right? Those are the people who Paige DeSorbo is talking about when she says boy moms, not the people who look at good, bad, depending on the gender. So Lisa Vanderpump, for some reason on that show, has always truly supported, stood up for, and babied James Kennedy. And here's the weird thing is I have really, when you watch Vanderpump Rules through the years, I have felt bad for James in the years prior, like seasons and seasons and seasons ago. No longer, obviously. Like, I don't even follow James. I dislike James. I despise James. Actually, hear that, everyone? I don't like all men. Yeah, I don't. So, but Lisa Vanderpump has a weird thing with James. She also has a weird thing with Tom Sandoval, right? So let's watch this little clip of what Allie said about Lisa Vanderpump trying to kind of get Allie to forgive James, according to her.
Love in the face of the story is Lisa Vanderpump.
All I'll say, she called me and she did make sure, like, are you okay? I mean, this was like 2 months later, but she called and made sure.
She called you 2 months later?
Maybe, or a month. I don't know.
Certainly not the next day.
It's obviously sped up. I don't think they talk this fast because, yeah, Allie's not capable of talking this fast.
Certainly not the next day, but she called and checked in on me. And then just, yeah, she's very protective of her James. And I get it because I was too for a long time. Like, it's very motherly.
You were in love with him.
Yeah. I was in love with it. Right. That's, yeah. I think that she feels protected like a mother almost to him. Yeah. And I thought that was really weird at first when I first got on the show. Then I kind of started to understand it a little more. But yeah, she was basically like, Allie, like, he needs you. Like, you're really good together. I don't think that, like, so
she was trying to convince you to stay with him even after learning that he.
Yeah. She was like, you should go travel with him to his shows this weekend. I'm like, first of all, what shows? He's canceled right now. And also, no, I just moved into an apartment. We're not together, but it was really weird because on the call, I was kind of like, I was like weak in the moment, you know, and I'm like, like, did I make the wrong, you know what I mean? Like, questioning everything.
Do you think James asked her to make that call?
I don't know. I really don't know. And it was a lot of like, well, you were drinking too. And
she said that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like you need to protect Lisa Vanderpump in this moment?
Yeah.
Another person I've been very critical of is
That sounds horrible. So she was basically minimizing the issue and saying, come on, well, you were drinking too. Oh, give him. I need Elsie here with her British accent. Give him another chance, honey. Oh, baby. Oh, James. You know James. He's just a good man. He's not a bad man. He loves you. He was just stressed. You know, the news about Vanderpump Rules, we just got canceled, and he was just a little stressed out about it. Please. Another clip of what happened on the show. The Bravo investigator, Dana, posted a little bit of whether or not she believes. Was it her that posted it? Yes. Whether or not she believed Kristen and Rachel. If you remember, Kristen, Douty, and Rachel Leviss, I'm like, what's her name again? Rachel Leviss and Kristen Douty have both come out and said James Kennedy was physical with them. Now, when you have, and this is a Justin Baldoni moment, right? It all comes back to this, the Me Too issue. When you have two people in the past who have come out and said, this man, when he's drinking or not, have been physical with me. Not Justin Baldoni, guys. James Kennedy. This man has been physical with me. And then now you're dating a man, the same man, who has been at times wild, out of control, and drinking, and so on and so forth, whatever, and has been physical. It's time to maybe say, I believe them. I have seen firsthand stuff that has happened. I believe them. And this is what she has to say about them, which is very, very telling.
Do you believe, knowing what you know about James, and now that you're out of this relationship and you can see it with a clearer lens, do you believe Kristen Douty or Rachel when it comes to their accusations towards James and him being physical towards them?
I want to say, like, it's so hard because James has been in my ear, not now, but, you know, for our relationship, obviously. And I've heard a lot from the rest of the cast. Mutually, that was just a very toxic relationship on both parties. So I don't really want to say anything, but I will say that, and I have to say this, but also, like, it's true, but, like, I always will believe women. And I do feel kind of guilty or bad. And I shouldn't, I'm not going to take that on myself. But, you know, sometimes it is like, oh, like, they were right. Or like, oh, these people saying all these things about James's behavior. Like, but sometimes I think you have to just really figure it out for yourself. It's like, you kind of just have to, you know, I don't have any regrets. And James, at the end of the day, he is a great person. Like, he has great, great qualities, and he's wounded. Tried to fix that.
Yeah. But like, do you believe, knowing what you know about James, and
which is a not great answer. It's not like, yes, they were right and James was wrong. It was giving like this half-ass kind of bullshit answer, which just shows me she's just not a strong, like, she's just not doing, Allie's just not that girl for me, if you know what I mean. Now, if you remember, she did have a police report, which was like so clear the day of the police coming to her house. And if you guys remember, a lot of you guys weren't here during the time. I got note from one of my dosers. Oh man, Frankie, my dog, wants to come in. I got note from one of my dosers who said the party was like on a Tuesday or Wednesday. I got a DM from one of my dosers and she said, I have some news. It was 24 hours after the party. She said, James Kennedy was arrested last night for domestic violence. No one knows. And literally no one knew. And then 24 hours later, it became public. He, on that police report, said from the police, verbatim, it said that the victim said that he picked her up and threw her to the ground. Okay? This is what she has to say about it now.
when you say you weren't hurt, just to clarify, was there any moment in that night where you, or I guess anyone else who might have been present, like felt like he was getting physically aggressive with you? Like whether it's a disconnect or perception of the situation that escalated into his arrest?
Honestly, like not physically, but verbal, manic, like just really, really loud and like intense and just like sporadic behavior where it's like, you don't really know what this person is capable of or going to do. It's not necessarily like a safe feeling.
Yeah.
When you say you weren't hurt, just to clarify.
So thank you for the Bravo investigator for those clips, so we don't have to listen to it. So apparently they just don't, she's not saying that she was actually physically lifted up and thrown down to the ground. That just came out of nowhere. I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. We'll see. She is no longer on the reality show. James Kennedy is no longer on the reality show. He takes pictures with the Tate brothers and is friends with them. I am no longer a fan of his. I am not really, I don't care. I don't care about them. Good for her for breaking up with him. And I wish the best for her, honestly. Patricia says, beware when a sentence begins with honestly. And I just said, honestly, I'm no longer a fan of him. But really, honestly. So wish her the best. And if she has a podcast and YouTube or whatever on astrology and you're into that, then, go that way. I'm not really a huge that's not like a passion of mine to follow. So I will not be probably following that, but I'm sure we'll see when that is, up and about. Okay, let's move on to another story. Blake and Ryan, let's get into a little bit of that before we go on to these other little pieces of stuff. It just never ends. Seriously, Ryan Reynolds, man, I woke up and I was like, ugh, I couldn't believe that he posted this. I think I saw it on, did I see it on X, on Threads? What? I mean, let's go and I'll look on his Instagram to see if it's there. I kind of couldn't believe it. I was like, you've got to be joking me with this guy. He just doesn't. Yeah, his face bugs. There's certain people that are just they're now just going to be unlikable forever. And I don't really want to say other people that I feel this way about. There's a few people that I feel this way about. And, I'll try not to get canceled today, so I'll just let it sit there. But there's certain people that are just truly so unlikable just by physicality, just by look. And it's personality. It's personality, honestly. It's punchable. They're punchable. I follow this amazing girl. Her name's Addie. She's become a friend of mine. She's on TikTok. I'm so obsessed with her. She's so funny. And you can't follow her if you're easily offended. She's DJ Hungry Human on on TikTok. I'm almost willing to show you guys just her last TikTok because she says everything that I'm thinking, I think, but she doesn't, but she's saying it and I'm not saying it. So I feel like it's okay. Like if you know those people that if they say it and you don't say it, but you just think it's funny, it's okay. Does that make sense? Okay, maybe I'll show you after, but she did a video about Lizzo and I just laughed my ass off so much because she I'm gonna just play. Can I just play you this one little thing? But you guys have to just not be offended, okay? Let's try really hard just not to be offended for 5 minutes, okay? So 1 minute, 2 minutes, everyone just tell me in the comments. We'll move on I'll come back to Ryan, but we just need to laugh for 1 second. You have to follow Addie. She and I are friends. I'm going to get her on this podcast, okay? She's so funny. Let me go over to her. She talks about Lizzo. Everything she says makes me laugh, but this is so funny. Hold on. Let me go. I wanted to start.
Lizzo's greatest talent is being completely unlikable. There's nothing she can do to hide the fact that she's terrible. She used to blame all the hate she got on being fat. Everyone hates me because I'm fat. Well, now you're skinny. You're on the Ozempic, which, they all abandon body positivity the first second that they get. Have you noticed that? Anywho, she did a podcast. She called Britney Spears a Janet Jackson impersonator. And basically said that like Britney Spears is not the queen of pop. Here's the thing. Britney Spears herself on many, many occasions has talked about how inspired she was by Janet Jackson. She even said it to Janet Jackson's face. To go after Britney Spears in this fashion, when you really should be happy that anybody's giving you airtime at all after Bananagate and everything else, it's on par for what we should expect from Lizzo. Because she's so incredibly unlikable. It's like, listen, pipe down, be quiet for a minute. Don't go on any podcast. This woman, the team needs to sit her down and be like, listen, you gotta be quiet. Put out like one good record, maybe people will forgive you. Doubtful, but anything's possible. This quote is telling. People, this is from Lizzo. People now will just believe anything bad about you because there's something about being a famous person that it's almost like people want to believe that you're a bad person and they can't believe that you're actually boring and chill and nice. Boring, maybe. Chill and nice. I don't think so. Also, you guys all do seem like bad people. Studies show, the evidence shows that a lot of you are bad people, especially when your employees come out and sue you and lay it all out there for everyone. And by the way, in December, it said that the lawsuit had been thrown out. but they just can't sue Lizzo as an individual. The case against the touring company, Big Girl, Big Touring, remains ongoing. All right. Lizzo's greatest talent is being.
Oh my God, you guys,
You guys-
something about her cracks me up. She has great takes on Blake and Ryan. She has great takes on, I mean, honestly, there's something about her energy. And I mean, honestly, yeah, she really does have great takes on Blake and Ryan too.
Okay, two things in regards
This was
to
a
our
while
friend Blake. Did you
ago.
guys see the video?
Oh, this was about the hotel drama. Yeah, you follow her. Okay, back to Ryan Reynolds. Back to an unlikable person. This is what Ryan Reynolds woke up and decided to post today. Now, I understand he's doing this in the idea of charity. Okay? No, I put quotes around that. I don't know why, because it is for charity. And I feel bad for this charity that I'm making fun of him, because he's just, why? This year marks the 45th anniversary of Terry Fox's Marathon of Hope. Okay, if this is just the picture that he used, great. To celebrate this massive milestone, he says the Terry Fox Foundation is launching a limited edition collection with all proceeds supporting cancer research in Canada. Look, as you know, cancer, horrible. I am 100%, 1000% on board with supporting cancer research. I appreciate him. I care about any sort of cancer research. The fact that just last night, Ryan Reynolds filed another motion in support of his motion to dismiss in response to Justin Baldoni's support of motion, blah, 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 back and forth, where he again went after Justin Baldoni's hurt feelings in another attempt to say, I'm allowed to call you a predator because that's how I feel. And then turns around and does this bullshit. This is what bothers me. Okay. So I am totally, this has nothing to do with Terry Fox. This has nothing to do with cancer. This has nothing to do with charity. And this has absolutely nothing to do with that side. I want to be very clear. So let's separate the two. This is just Ryan Reynolds. Right? So you're going to be a piece of shit and make fun of someone and try to take them down and then turn around and be like, but for charity and for cancer, with this face that looks like, I don't know if it looks like he drank way too much gin last night, ate way too much salt. He's very, very bloated in this picture, very bloated. And also then let's look at the carousel of pictures. Okay, first picture, just him in the shirt. Second picture, the back of the shirt. Great. That would be enough, right? Wouldn't that be enough? Nope, not enough for Ryan. Then he has to do it in the black shirt. Okay, fine. Cute. Fine. No, not him. Shirt. Shirt's great. Cool. Would be enough. And this is where he sends me to a very annoyed place. Now, if you're listening to the audio version of this, okay? If you're listening to the audio version of this, the third picture is him with his head on, I don't know, whose body is this? It's like The Rock's body or some sort of WWE, WWF, something else, like another person's body. A very, very big, heavy weightlifter, bodybuilder type body. And so he basically superimposed his face on a body. A very buff body. Like, why? Why? Just to be funny. So he has to be funny. He cannot just be serious and just do something for cancer. He has to try to be funny. He can't just do one thing seriously. And then the last one, who is this? Aaron Reed. The last one, oh, he took Aaron. Okay, got it. Now I get it. In the picture, he put his head on this guy, Aaron Reed's body. And Aaron Reed is like a big bodybuilder. And then the last one, he took Aaron Reed's head and he put him on Ryan Reynolds' body. Just because. Just because. Can't do anything without trying to make people laugh. Why? Why? Like, why? What is the need for this? Now, the comments, of course, are the 6 people that he's allowed to comment, right? Ryan Reynolds forever, Mutant 101. I don't know who the hell that is. Ryan Reynolds Daily. I love you, Ryan Reynolds. Aaron Reed, of course, the person who's tagged. Deadpool and Wolverine. Like all the comments are of course, very accepted people that he allows to comment. Now, Aaron Reed is the world's tallest bodybuilder. This is a very, very big celebrity, obviously. He's been in probably his films. Yeah, it's this guy. He basically took these pictures from a day ago and just put his head on it. That's exactly. Oh, he did it in connection with Ryan. Okay, awesome. I'm going to tell you something. When you have to try so hard to make people laugh while you're in the middle of literally trying to ruin someone's life, something's wrong with you. Like, it's just so weird. It's almost like, it goes back to my episode yesterday with Eliza. And if you guys didn't watch my episode yesterday with Eliza, when he's literally doing that whole bit with the Brandon Sklenar, like, what are these smuggling pumpkins? The ass joke. It's a strange coping mechanism. What does it mean? What therapists in the comments, raise your hands. What does it mean when you're trying so hard to make people laugh, when you're in the middle of doing something diabolical and psychotic and insane? There's got to be a narcissistic personality disorder, but also like a sociopathic psychotic disorder. And I'm just like a podcaster. I'm not a doctor, but there's something wrong with you. Because if you're in the middle of a lawsuit like this, where you're literally fighting for your career and your life, you're not also trying to make jokes. It's weird. I guess narcissistic, disassociating, all those things, right? And yes, some of the things that are talking about in the comments, of course, are all the things that are coming out about his career, right? The stuff that's come out about his daughter and the comments that he's made his daughter say on the set and the different interviews that have been happening about things that he's said in the last few years. It's not just about the lawsuit. His whole career is like getting dissected and taken apart right now. Joe Rogan's talking about him. Everything is being kind of taken apart clearly. He is at a real weird crossroads in his career right now. These are strange choices that he's making. Very, very, very strange choices. That's why I'm so confused by them. And that's why I feel like they're running out of options. They don't feel like they're in control. They're pretending that they're in control by doing all these weird things because that's what they're being told. They're acting like, pretend like nothing's wrong. Everything's fine. Pretend like all is okay. But really, I feel my gut instinct is that they are freaking the fuck out and they have no idea what to do. So they're just pretending everything's fine. Now let's go back to his Instagram stories because maybe he posted something interesting. Doubt it, but let's see. This is still Aaron Reed. I mean, I would rather follow Aaron Reed than Van City Reynolds, but oh. He's got to post him with Millie the Wrexham fan. He's got to do his, charity stuff. He's dying to be Justin Baldoni. I'm telling you, he really is. That's like what I feel. And then, of course, he's posting Wrexham content. His good old Wrexham content. Okay, now he did file his second motion. I'm not going to cover it. It's just the same old bullshit. There's other creators that went through it line by line. I just can't. It's the same old stuff. Of course, yesterday I also covered how the actor from It Ends With Us came out and said, Blake is lying, and I'm happy to testify. I will go on the stands and talk about it. I have no issue with talking about the fact that Blake was wearing clothes. Blake had no problem on set that day. I am an actor. She had no issue with me. She would say, if she did want to say something, she would say, I am, I have an issue, but she didn't. Like, the story has changed. She is a queen of revisionist history. So we'll see what continues to happen there, but I am not seeing anything in their future that is going to come out. Now, what I found was so interesting were the comments on my YouTube video yesterday. I did a video about the actor that came out, Adam Monshine, and so many people were like, finally. And then I get one comment this morning that says, you Baldoni stands are embarrassing Don't you know he assaulted multiple women on that set, and they are all going to come out in the trial and take him down? Something like that. I'm paraphrasing because it's not in front of me. I still cannot wrap my head around this. Oh, and this reminded me. I got tea this morning. I was at my gym. I work out at the local F45. And I was working out and I was talking to a bunch of the people during one of our sets. And there was one person right in front of me one of the trainers who was working out with me, and her cousin. And we were all talking about Blake Lively. They all listened to my show. And we were talking about the Blake Lively story. And he says her cousin is this younger guy. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, wait, what do you think about everything? And I was like, well, I mean, it's TLDR. It's like, I've been talking about this forever. I think Blake and Ryan are liars. I think they're problematic. And he goes, what about Justin Baldoni? Do you think he has like anything wrong? And I said, I honestly don't think I can say if he's perfect. I don't know if he's perfect. I just think he was truly just a really, really nice guy. And maybe that got deemed or felt a little strange because he was so kind, so friendly, maybe a little like touchy-feely type of friendly. And that felt, maybe strange to people because people aren't normally that nice. But I truly don't think he had anything even close to what she's claiming in terms of sexual harassment. And he goes, well, my girlfriend was almost up for the role, almost got the role of young Lily. And I said, excuse me? Tell me more? He said, yes. My girlfriend was in the top final 2 or 2 or 3 or whatever he said to get the role of young Lily. And she was on all the Zooms with Justin and with everyone. And at the end, when she didn't get the role, or at the end when she almost got the role, whatever, the last final, he said, Justin was so sweet, so kind. She had never had an experience like that ever auditioning, especially with a director, with a lead. Like, she was blown away because she must have been very young. He's a young guy, the guy I was talking to. He was probably in his early 20s, maybe mid 20s. So I'm sure she was also young 20s, early 20s. And he said that his girlfriend said she had never had an experience that lovely in terms of auditioning. And as someone that used to work in the audition space, I know like actors and agents and stuff, they're assholes. A lot of times casting directors, we can try to be nice, but producers and directors, like sometimes they're cold and they're mean and they're like, get through it. Right. And he was so kind with her, and he was so over the top nice with her, and so thankful for her, and even just so sweet with her, even when she didn't get the role, and just like forgiving and apologetic, and just so grateful for her, and just gave her all the flowers. And she remembered that. And she said, like, he was so kind. And so the boyfriend said to me today, I just think that that's kind of who he is. He's just such a nice person, just a genuine nice person. And I said, exactly. I think that's exactly who he was. He was just like a really good person. So it's exactly what we said. Mistaking kindness for weakness from the very beginning. Okay. I think that's all I have on that story today. Let's move on because there's so many other things. I didn't talk about this, and I didn't see anyone else talk about this. Did you guys see that Blake Lively posted something on her Instagram stories the other day? Did anyone cover this? I don't remember seeing this. She posted something on her Instagram stories yesterday or the day before, and I thought this was kind of interesting. When I Googled a picture of her, I saw this. She posted this. It was a picture of flowers with a song called Little April Showers. And it says, it never hurts to keep looking for sunshine, from Eeyore. It was a quote from Eeyore, which if you guys know from Winnie the Pooh, Eeyore. And it's like, na, 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 na. Na, 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 like Eeyore, like sad, like just really sad. It never hurts to keep looking for sunshine. So sad. Well, I'm looking for sunshine in another story. Let's move on out of Blake Lively's life. Okay. You guys, we got to talk about some other big stories. Brittany Cartwright. This is going to like hit some people hard. I got a lot of DMs about this. If you're a parent and if you struggle in any way with neurodiversity in your home, with children, with parenting, this is gonna hit hard, and I feel for you. I do have neurodiversity in my home as well with a child, and not as extreme as Brittany, but this is actually really tough. This is a tough situation. And I think for anyone that was watching The Valley and watching Brittany and Jax and watching everything that they were going through, I think we kind of had an idea, but this is a toughie. And I applaud Brittany for talking about this. And she has a long road ahead of her. But let's watch this.
Because I've never heard him say I love you, or just those little things, those little monumental moments that a mother and a son share. But he is so loving, and he shows me he loves me every single day. Like, he is such a mommy's boy, and we have the best time together. He is so happy. I think a lot of times with nonverbal children, people don't think that they understand what's going on, or they think they're not very smart. And there's
Hold on. I guess there's a couple different clips. I want to show you the first clip. Here we go. Wow, they must have posted like a bunch.
a lot of people have tried to diagnose my son from social media, or sitting on their armchairs and, saying, why is he not talking yet? Why is he not talking yet? Or coming up with their own reasons why my son isn't talking. And I felt like it was up to me whenever I was ready to talk about his autism, because it is something that I'm learning myself. It's something brand new that we're going through. And, I'm his voice now, and I'm doing everything. I'm fighting for him. Like, I'm his warrior now. Cruz started off on track for everything. He crawled early. He walked early. He was talking, he was saying mommy, daddy. He was saying hot dog from the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. He was saying outside. He had a lot more words. And then as he got closer to 2, we started noticing that he was regressing. He didn't regress physically. He only regressed in like his speech. So he stopped talking almost completely. So I started him in speech therapy around 2 years old. And then we started working with the state to try to start getting some kind of diagnosis for him. And then we started OT, and he is doing so much better. We finally were able to get with his doctor, and they did diagnose him with autism. And so right now he's nonverbal autism, but that doesn't mean he's always going to be nonverbal. He does say mommy. He will sporadically say different words. Like, we were driving in the car one day, we were in Kentucky with my sister, and all of a sudden he goes, mommy, I want to get out, like plain as day. And I could have cried because he was wanting to get out of his car seat, but like I could have cried just because hearing him say a full sentence was like heartbreaking in the best way for me. A lot of people have tried.
Okay. This is a toughie situation, you guys. I'm so saddened by how many, even on this post, how many comments there were of people being like, it's because of this, it's because of that, it's because of this. And everyone has their theories. Whenever it comes to health or parenting, or actually anything anymore these days on the internet, there's always going to be reasons. Even when it comes to people's cancer diagnosis or anything, right? Like, people always have their reasons why. It's because of what you fed them. It's because of what you ate. It's because of what you drank. It's because of that. We can't diagnose or say why. And you definitely cannot blame a parent when your child has anything, right? For anyone that's going through any difficulties with their children, especially when it's something like this, the last thing you want to do is feel like, did I do something? Did I have anything to do with this? Was this my fault? You know how many times, and I'm just going to assume this, Oh my gosh. Do you know how many times I bet Jax has blamed her for things? Like, I'm just assuming this. I guarantee you, Jax, in like a drunken stupor or in like a high stupor, has probably said to Brittany, it's because you drank too much before when you were breastfeeding. Like, don't you imagine? Can't you just imagine Jax saying shit like that to her? I'm just assuming that because I just hate him so much. I just feel so bad for her to have to go through something like this anyway, because it's so challenging. But to go through this in the public and then to go through this with a co-parent like Jax. Oh my God. Could you think of a worse situation for her with that guy? So I don't believe like Jax Taylor. This is such an ego blow for a man like Jax to have a son that's not like some really outperforming macho boy. It's going to be a tough growing pain for Jax, I think, as a dad to go through that. I think it's going to be real tough. It's also going to be really tough. I just know this from my friends. So I think it's really challenging when it comes to, and tell me if I'm speaking in any way out of turn for any parents whose children are highly on the spectrum and have nonverbal kids, because obviously I don't have that. But my friends whose kids are on the spectrum in a really strong, higher way where they were nonverbal or like really high on the sensory spectrum side, it was really hard for them to be around other kids because they would feel very jealous or they would feel very like in that comparison, right? Stages. Like it was a lot of comparison. I remember, traveling with friends or going out with friends when our kids were really young, and there would be a lot of, where one kid would be really okay at parties and then the other, or birthday parties or loud music, and then the other kid would be struggling so much because the music would bug them, and then that they'd have to leave early and it would be so hard. And I just so worry for her because it's going to be on camera. And like all of her friends now in the Valley are having these babies, Janet and, Nia and those 4 babies or 3 babies. And everyone has the babies. And now she's going to have these like struggle. I just worry so much for her. Anyway, I'm sending nothing but love for Brittany, and she should never get blamed for anything. And so just check yourself if you're a parent and you feel like you're giving her, rather than feeling like you're giving advice or telling her what to do, just like maybe we should just give love, because I'm sure she's getting so much unsolicited advice and judgment in those comments. And Cruz is so cute. He's such a good looking little boy. He's such a sweetie. So I'm glad she's doing this. I think other than Jacqueline, I can't think of that many parents of kids on the spectrum on Bravo other than Jacqueline Larita on Jersey. Can anyone think of many other Bravo parents with kids on the spectrum? I know that Denise Richards has a daughter that is not on the I don't think she's on the spectrum. She has like a chromosomal deficiency or abnormality, but I can't remember. Oh, Louis on Jersey. No, not Dorit. Someone's saying Dorit. Jagger and Phoenix are not on the spectrum from what I know. Mia, Real Houses of Potomac, Mia. Yeah, but that's like a mess over there, huh? Oh, Frankie on Miami. Thank you. Oh, Dorit's son Jagger was a late speaker. Yeah, but he speaks fine. I don't think he was diagnosed on the spectrum, though. I think he just wasn't See, to be a late speaker is different because there's a lot of kids that are speaking late, but that's different than being diagnosed on the spectrum. So anyway, I'm just praying for her. So sad. But proud of her for speaking about it and like taking control over the narrative. That's really important. It's very, very, very important. Yeah, Frankie has a brain injury on Miami. Speaking of, I miss those Miami girls. I want them back. I miss them. In other news, we'll go to this Gabby and Clayton story because I find it wild. And you guys, I'm starting to struggle with Gabby. Is anyone else starting to struggle with Gabby through this story? And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is a crazy like back and forth. And I really like Gabby Windey, but now I'm really having a hard time. Let me just cover it really fast. So Gabby from obviously she's been on Bachelorette, she's been everywhere, whatever. So she and Clayton from Bachelor, is it Bachelor or Bachelorette? Bachelor. Now, I didn't watch the season, so I always feel a little bit behind. But Bachelor, Clayton, and Gabby were on the same season, and he didn't end up picking her. And I think he was like with both of them physically. It was down to her and someone else. And then, like I said, I didn't watch the season, so I didn't know them on the show. Then she went on Dancing with the Stars. Like I said yesterday, Lance, or the day before, Lance said she was adorable. This is a wild picture of her. She looks nothing like this. Lance says she was adorable, so cute, so sweet. But then I got to know her when she was on Traitors, and she's hilarious on Traitors. She's now a lesbian. She is married to her wife, Robbie Hoffman. I find her hysterical. I find her very funny, Gabby. I love her on Watch What Happens Live whenever she does those shows, whatever. Very funny. However, she's taking this Clayton thing a little too far, I think. So it says they met in the fall of 2021 on season 26 of the show. They had a messy breakup, and they apparently, put the drama behind them, but now they're fighting. Okay, this is them when they were together. They look like totally different people. They had been intimate with Okay, so I guess they were on the final 3. He was with her, Susie, and Rachel. He went on fantasy dates with both her and Rachel. And on another person's date, she said she didn't want to be with him unless he was whatever. It doesn't matter. He broke up with both of them, and they had a nasty breakup. She mocked his dancing on the show. I talked about it yesterday, or with Elsie on Monday, on the show Las Culturistas. It was mean. She made fun of his passion project, dancing. Then he came out and he said, "Why are you bullying me? I find it like really unfair. You're bullying me." And this was the video that I shared. "You're attacking me for a passion," he said, "that I love, that's changed my life. It's unnecessary and it's not funny. You have such a large platform." She comes back and she posts a TikTok of her own.
Oh, that's rich.
And I want you guys to see this. And
Oh, that's rich.
I'm kind of surprised that
Oh,
she
that's
doesn't
rich.
just say, "I'm sorry." I need you guys to tell me what your thoughts are on this one.
It's rich coming from a man who exploited my sexual life on TV without me knowing. You were intimate with the both of us, you said, on national TV in front of millions without having a conversation with me or another woman first. So you humiliated us in front of each other and in front of everybody watching the TV. Sure, people can infer, but nothing has been said so explicitly, and those kinds of details should come from a woman. Oh, I'm a mean girl? As a straight white man, maybe you should do better with your power. Oh, that's rich.
Okay, I whenever we do like the straight white man thing, I mean, come on, like I don't know, that always I'm like, why are we invoking the fact that he's straight and he's white? Like, what does that have anything to do with this story? Why? As if she's like got the world against her. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But okay. Someone did say, April said, I don't know. I don't see why an ex can't make fun of an ex if they're asked about it. How is she to know dancing is an emotional support hobby? Well, I don't think it was just the fact like, oh yeah, now he's dancing. It's kind of funny. The way she made fun of him was so cruel. Can you imagine if someone made fun of you in that way? Not you specifically, April, sorry. But like me or you or any of you guys. Like, you wish you didn't have eyes if you saw that. It's so bad. It's like, I can't believe he does that. It's so bad. he calls her a bully. He's saying, you're bullying me. And then she's coming back and she's like, do better with your power. And he, again, is like, that is not cool. I can't believe that you're coming back at me again. And I'll play it for you guys.
It's disappointing to see that this is the route you're choosing to go, essentially saying it's justified to make fun of someone's physical appearance, to attack a passion of theirs that's changed their life if they hurt you in the past. So you're teaching your audience to be vengeful, to not forgive. And I don't agree with that, okay? And you have every right to be upset with me and what I did on the show. I've done everything in my power to apologize. I've taken accountability time and time again. I've reached out multiple times and extended the olive branch, and you want nothing to do with me. And Gabby, you don't ever have to forgive me if you don't want to, but continually bringing me up 3.5 years later, like, it's unnecessary. I've been doing my own thing. I've been dealing with my own drama for the last few years, false accusation after false accusations, and then you're just doing a pile-on effect, okay? And I think I have every right to be upset with what you said, because imagine if the roles were reversed. Imagine if I made fun of your physical looks. Imagine if I made fun of your passions. There would be an uprising online, as there should be, and that's why this is happening. It's not okay, Gabby, that you can just attack me, okay? It's bullying, and I wish that we could have just done this in private. And again, I didn't want on TV to ever air your business out. I tried to protect you all, but you were a lead once, Gabby, and you know, so stop with this nonsense. You know I couldn't have an off-camera conversation. You know that I can't just orchestrate that as a lead. Everything when we signed the contract said it had to be on camera, minus fantasy suites. I wanted to have the conversation with Susie off camera. I begged, wouldn't allow it to happen. So I didn't want to air it out, and that's why I used the word intimacy. I was trying to protect you all by keeping it as vague as possible. Intimacy could be we kissed. Intimacy could be we did more. Nobody knew. So I did everything in my power. All right, I tried. But at the end of the day, you're not going to agree with what I did. That's fine. But it does not give you the right, because what I did 3.5 years ago, for you to attack my physical appearance and what I'm doing today. It's wrong, Gabby. Do better.
I think the most interesting part about this is
Hold
on, I'm trying to find.
And you want nothing.
The receipts. He basically is showing that he has sent her multiple DMs over the last, here's May 27th, 2022. He has sent her a ton of messages. Then September 27th, 2023, he again sent her messages and saying, I want to talk to you. I'm so sorry. I apologize. And then she said, I'm traveling right now. I have a busy week ahead. What's up? And he responded, are you busy the weekend of the 6th or the 13th of October? If you are, both weekends, no worries. Just add an idea. I want to run by you. And she said, I am so sorry. And he was like, okay, well, just letting you know. And he's just basically saying, like, I've tried really hard to talk to you, and you've never given me the opportunity to talk to you. And it doesn't make sense why you're coming after me on a public podcast and making fun of my looks and making fun of the way I dance and then making fun of the way I am. And I think he's just kind of, look, without getting in his brain, like I said, I don't know these people at all. I didn't even watch his show. I know her better than him, and I really like her. But it does kind of feel weird why she's making fun of him. And then he's like, you're hurting my feelings. And she's like, oh, that's rich coming from a white male. Like, it does feel a little strange. The definition of bullying. Can we review the definition of bullying, please? That is not bullying. Bullying is defined by repetitive, intentional, hurtful behavior. Well, apparently she's doing this multiple times. So that's repetitive, intentional. She's saying it intentionally, and she's hurting his feelings. So I think why isn't that bullying? I think that's bullying. If someone said that about you on a public podcast, you wouldn't feel like you were being bullied? I don't know. I think that's kind of bullying. We've seen it happen multiple times in bigger forms with bigger influencers. Just last week, between 2 women influencers, and the whole world went wild, and people were so excited to see someone take someone else down because someone else talked about them on their podcast or on their Substack. I'm not going to get into that story again. And everyone was so excited to see that. So I don't see what the difference is here. I think it's mean. Tanya saying, no, he clearly said that she never had a conversation with him prior to that post, but she's talked about him publicly prior to that post. Okay. So Danielle says, well, he's bullying my eyes with those dance moves. Okay, well, you can feel however you can feel, but it doesn't mean that she hasn't hurt his feelings. If you talk about someone on a public podcast, the other person is allowed to respond. I think that's allowed. He's allowed to respond to her comments. And she's allowed to respond, I guess, too. She just didn't respond in a way that squashed the beef, right? Anyway, let's move on. Obviously, a lot of us are going to disagree on that one. So, lastly, let's get into Real Housewives of Beverly Hills from last night. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. I have some thoughts. I want to talk about just a couple things. There's only 2 storylines that I think are interesting in the entire reunion episode. It was kind of boring. Number 1, Jennifer Tilly. Look, I think she's adorable. I think she's a breath of fresh. Did she really snack? I'm sorry. Did she really snack during the 1 hour that she was sitting on that couch? Was that like a nervous energy? Was that a nervous feeling? Was there a reason that she was doing that? I'm so confused by that. Like, okay. And they made it so loud. They turned that shit up. Is that just like a normal thing? But okay, she was snacking while everyone else was smacking down, right? Dorit was on one. She was heightened. And I watched the Peacock version, and that girl cusses like a sailor. A sailor. She's saying effing, 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 effing. And let me tell you, when she talks about Sutton's house, it's a lot different when she says, you live on a effing, like a beep main road. When she goes, you live on a fucking main road, a fucking main road. I would never want to live on a fucking main road. I was like, whoa, Dorit. It was wild to hear. But she definitely curses. Now, Dorit was involved with 2 major storylines because earlier on we had the whole Kyle Richards storyline. And raise your hand or tell me in the comments, how do you feel about Kyle Richards? How are we doing with Kyle Richards? Obviously, she's never leaving Beverly Hills. If she leaves Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is no longer. It's getting a whole refresh. Kyle is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, no matter how much we enjoy her or not. And I don't personally want her to stay on the show, but no matter how much we enjoy her or not, Kyle Richards is not leaving this iteration of Beverly Hills. It's never going to happen. It's like she is Beverly Hills. And the whole storyline at first, let's first talk about the Morgan. Andy Cohen really held her feet to the fire. And I can't play it for you because they'll dock me, but Andy Cohen really held her feet to the fire by saying, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You really confuse the entire audience. You brought in Morgan last season. Then you did the whole, lesbian music video where you pretended to be in a relationship and were kissing and all of that. And then you, of course, changed it up and you then didn't want to talk about it. Garcelle said, you talked to me off camera about things. Then you expected me not to talk about it. You guys, I'm just going to tell you straight up right here. Here's what I know. I mentioned it yesterday with Look who shows up. Look who shows up, the court of random opinion. Did somebody say lesbian music video? Did your lesbian music video did your ears start ringing, Lauren? Lauren, all of a sudden, she's like, I'm usually here for Blake Lively, but Did someone say lesbian? Why do you have experience? I love my lesbians. Okay, so Lauren and the Lesbians. That's the new band. Lauren and the Lesbians. It's like Gem and the Holograms. So they so here's what's going on with Kyle and Morgan. Okay, from all of my spidey senses plus my connections, I know this. And I'm going to say allegedly just to cover my ass in case Kyle wants to come after me. Morgan is the reason Kyle is not officially out. I mentioned it yesterday just as like a LOL, like haha, but it's official, okay? And I feel for Kyle Richards because it's obvious. She has talked to Garcelle off camera about this. She is in a relationship that is unfortunately not able to be public because her lover, her relationship her partner does not want to be the public lover / girlfriend of a Real Housewife. That is really, really unfortunate. I feel bad for her. To be in a long 25-year-old marriage with a man where you're on a reality show, you're a public person, you can be yourself, you can and then you fall in love with a young woman. You finally get her comfortable around your family. Your friends know. You're in love. You're traveling around the world. And then you can't be public is really, really, really sad. It's really sad. So I don't know what's going on there, but that's what I know. And she is between a rock and a hard place. And I think that's true why she's just so uncomfortable around the story. And that's why her story keeps changing and she doesn't really know what's going on. But I think that's really shitty. And I'm not trying to like throw Morgan under the bus here, but I think that's really shitty of Morgan to do to her because Morgan should say, then I'm not the right one for you because your lifestyle, and maybe Morgan has said to Kyle, then we shouldn't be together. Because if you want to be with someone who you need to be public with for your life, then I'm not the one for you. And then Kyle's probably said, I'm just making this up again. Kyle's probably said, I love you, so I choose to do this because I want to be with you. And I will live my life in secret. This part of my life in secret to be with you. But I can't get rid of that part of my life because that part of my life is everything for me. It's just so sad. It's kind of shitty. It's like you have to live a secret. So that part is so wild. I mean, it's wild. And I wonder, so Josh is saying it's not easy to be gay. And that makes me so sad for her, for Kyle, for Morgan, for everyone. But I don't even know if it's the gay part because I don't think Morgan is shy about being gay. I think it's just the public part of it. Because I don't think Morgan would care if it was, I mean, I don't think it's about the fact that I think Morgan would feel the same way if she was straight and Kyle was a man. I think she just doesn't want to be public. So it's actually really, really sad. Finally, but it's going to be hard for Kyle to like maintain this because how long can you do that? You know, how long can you do this kind of back and forth? And Dorit, I do feel bad because Dorit's like, listen, when Morgan came into your life, you dropped me. And I was on Watch What Happens Live and they asked me and I was honest. And then you got pissed off at me for it. We're breaking all the fourth walls on these shows. We're breaking all the fourth walls. And Kyle and Dorit and everyone's able to do it. But I mean, Dorit does it. Everyone does it. But Kyle's the only one that like can't handle it. She can't handle when anyone else does it. She can do it, but no one else can do it. It's very strange. And they showed that whole part with the PK and the text. And I can't believe that Kyle is still texting PK. Kyle is still texting freaking PK. And PK did such an asshole thing yesterday, you guys. Did you see the picture that freaking PK posted yesterday? He's such a piece of crap. He posted this picture of him on his stories yesterday that said, it's better to admit you walked through the wrong door than to spend your life in the wrong room, which makes me think he's basically saying, because of course he posted this on the night of the, the reunion. He's like, fuck the rate. Fuck the rate. And I'm like, this is Jagger and Phoenix's mom. You may hate her, but that's still the mother of your child, you POS. He's literally Jax Taylor, British and older. He's Jax Taylor in different shoes. You know what I mean? I don't like him. After seeing the text message that he sent, the DM that he sent, she's speaking, Bravo. Did you guys see the DM that he sent? She's speaking with Emily Hanks. Guys, I don't know if I've talked about it here on the show. I may need to show you guys this. There's another blogger. I don't even know how I ever just said blogger. That's so embarrassing. She's a podcaster. She's a YouTuber. I believe she has a podcast. A YouTube too. She talks about Bravo. She talks about all these things. And she did a series on PK and about the fact that he has all these like kids and now 2 ex-wives and like 2 ex-families. He sent her, how do I find this? He sent her the most unhinged DMs. Please tell me she didn't delete it. Oh, please tell me she didn't. Did she delete it? Oh my God. I think she deleted it. Wow, I think she deleted it. Maybe she did. Maybe she felt like it was getting, maybe he begged her to delete it or something. PK sent her these unhinged DMs at like 2:30 in the morning. Wow, she deleted it from Threads. That's wild. Is it in a highlight, you're asking? Let me look really fast. Oh, no. Okay, she edited it. Okay, here, we're going to show you guys. This is wild. So her name is Emily Hanks. She has a podcast called She's Speaking Bravo, or it's called She's Speaking with Emily Hanks. Let me show it to you guys. You'll die. Stop sharing, and let me share you this. This is what a piece of shit PK is. So she did a post about PK, and it says, I didn't do a great job of providing full context to this story because I kind of expected just my followers to see it, but now that it's spread to actual outlets, I realized I should have added more information. The video PK is referring to was originally posted on February 5th in response to his Bravo's hot mic appearance, where he said Dorit was not affected by his gambling debts and bankruptcies and should have therefore not spoken about them on camera. It's the only video I made on the subject. I did not speak about his older children. I simply said he had them. In regards to him saying I lied about the length of his first marriages, 9 years is what comes up on Google and the number of articles, So she talked about his family and, whatever. He sends this DM to Emily at 2:15 in the morning. It says, is there any I'm going to try to do it in his accent. You guys ready? Is there any chance? No, good luck. I need Elsie. Is there any chance at all that you could stop lying? I was married to I can't do it. I can't do his like Huckney accent. His Huckney accent. It says, I was married to my first wife for 20 years, not 9. I've never had a house foreclosed upon ever. And I remain super close with all my children, particularly my 3 older ones who are not on social media. And I do not appreciate you grabbing an old photograph and posting their images on your disgusting blog. So please take their image down. Just stop lying for clicks and money. Feel free to post this message, although I doubt you will, as it will show everyone just what total shit you talk and how you have no regard for kids that are not in your super sick world. And then she says, I think sharing this message will only demonstrate the way in which you communicate, and you sent it after 2 a.m. That nonetheless, while the years you were married to your ex-wife may be wrong, which I will correct because I do like to be accurate, I never said your homes were foreclosed on, but they were in pre-foreclosure, which I stated in my content. In regard to your relationship with your children, it's interesting you say you remain close with them, particularly your 3 older ones, being that your younger ones are here in LA and in the midst of your separation. I would think you would want to ensure that relationship is strong, but that's good to know. Do you send all content creators and podcasters messages like this, or am I the only lucky one? And he responds, 4 of my kids are in LA, 1 studying in Rio. I'd personally stay away from my kids, full stop. Your content is designed to defame. He's spelling all this wrong, by the way, but that's up to you. Obviously, it goes without saying I'm close with my little ones, and you're the lucky one that gets to hear from me because everything you said was made up. Comma, comma, comma. Keep writing and posting about my family, and you'll see how lucky you get. If you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen. You're not a content creator. You're a liar who posts what she wants behind a filter that's probably marginally more of a misleading image than which you talk about. Go for it. See what a father who loves his kids will do to protect them when someone is out to harm them. And me, ... Good luck. So she blocked him. Now, I don't know exactly what she posted, if it was true or not, but there is literally no reason to send a podcaster those kinds of DMs if you're talent on a reality show at 2:30 in the morning. Like, what? If any reality star sent me DMs like that, I would be like, that's crazy. What in the Bronwyn Newport is going on? You know what I mean? It's feeling wild. So PK is a wild person. And if he's talking to Emily from She Speaks that way, then how is he talking to Dorit? Right? Now, speaking of Dorit, she did get a little unhinged at the end of the episode with Sutton. But it's okay. I'm okay with it. Sutton is so unlikable to me. And I've said that already throughout the season. I've said it through the season. I dislike Sutton so much this season that I'm okay with it. People find it really off-putting of Dorit, and I get it. Dorit doesn't look so great, but I think she's so over Sutton, and she's held her feet to the fire. I really, truly dislike Dorit and Sutton's fighting, but they're both, one is going lower than the other this season. It's not a good look for either. I'm dying to know what happens with Sutton next season without Garcelle. I mean, she's going to have Jennifer because Jennifer is going to need to be her 1+1 for everything. Kyle needs to stop texting PK and calling PK. It's a little weird. It's really weird, actually, now that I think about it. But I like Dorit speaking up. Like, we need that. I'm okay with it. Anything else? Anything else? I think that's it. Guys, that was a long episode, 1 hour and 20 minutes. Thank you so much for subscribing to Daily Dose of Donna. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much about being here and leaving comments. I've gotten so many incredible comments on my Apple Podcast page. Like, I'm seeing them. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here and bringing the subscriber count up. I just hit another marker, 42.7 last night. Every time I get a new marker, I get so excited. So I appreciate that. I love you and thank you for being here. Really, truly, in these crazy times, it's nice to have the support. Talk to you soon and see you tomorrow. Bye.